Home, home is where the heart is, okay? What's up, everybody? I'm Julia Loken.
I'm Stevie Anderson.
And I'm Lisa Chanou.
And we're What's Your Sign, a comedy astrology podcast for lovers and haters. And we are back to break down more characters from The Wild Season 2. So flip a tarot card, light a candle, and charge those crystals because we're getting back in the stars with The Wild Season 2. Okay, let's talk about our e-goth emo legend. We got to start with our boy Henry.
I will now offer a short list of things I'd rather do than go on this trip.
Henry is such Aquarius and Scorpio to me. I think he's an Aquarius sun with a Scorpio moon. Initially, he says that life is a death sentence. These things to me are so Aquarius. He also hates social media. He has this, and I think Aquariuses can either really love social media or hate it. I don't think they necessarily have to hate it, but I think they have strong feelings on it. The part where I decided that he was a Scorpio moon was when they said that he didn't laugh when somebody lit their fart on fire. I feel like an Aquarius sun would just be above that. Like a Scorpio sun might have laughed, so that's where I made my decision. He also says he'd never work in a bank. We also see him be kind of ruthless. We see him be he has like a sting to him. So that's where I think the Scorpio is. I think his kind of aesthetic darkness is very Aquarius, but having actual darkness is very Scorpio to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he has much actual darkness. I think it is very much aesthetic. And I had this thought in thinking about this because Aquarius is kind of a gothy sign. And I think people always attribute goth stuff to Scorpio because we have the 8th house association of death and transformation and kind of like Scorpio season is Halloween time. So we have all of these kind of natural associations. But Aquarius is the opposite sign of Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. This is kind of like the height of summer. The sun is at its full power. Aquarius, being the opposite sign, is when we're kind of farthest away from the sun. Aquarius is traditionally ruled by Saturn, which is cold and dry. And it is kind of like dead energy, not literal, but thinking of that being kind of gothy because it is when we are farthest from the sun at its full power, and how that kind of influences the Aquarian attitude and kind of that rebelliousness, but also that need to stick together to look to each other for warmth, for connection, for power, because we aren't all, happy in the light. It's cold and dry, and we got to help each other. So I really liked thinking of Aquarius that way and thinking of Henry in those terms, because he is like a Boy Scout, even though he is contrarian and rebellious, and he trolls his interrogator by reciting the My Chemical Romance lyrics, which obviously we all live for. We stand an emo goth king, and I think that if nothing else, Henry is very much like a team player. He's not going to be enthusiastic about it or happy about it. He's still very Saturnian in that way. I'm going to say Aquarius sun and rising, just because I think that it is very like, he is who he is. It feels very sun on the ascendant to me to just have that kind of, especially like double fixed like presentation of person too, our rising sign being how we like present our physical being in the world, and that being really like, I want you to know right away, I'm Saturnian, I'm not buying it. But I think no arguments for me on the Aquarius. And I also am on board with Scorpio too. I really saw the Aquarian.
Could Henry be more Aquarian? Could he be more Scorpionic? I also double down on that Aqua Sun, Aqua Rising, because he's very much himself no matter where he goes, when he's at home or when he's stuck on this island. Yeah, I think Scorpio Moon too, because of that sort of keeping the receipts, really sticking to that instinct, even with the stuff with Seth. He knows some stuff, and he's not afraid to share enough what he needs to share. He's not going to give you everything, but he's going to give you enough. And also sticking to the facts. I feel like that is very Aquarian and Scorpio. No notes, just truly living, breathing archetype of Aquarian and Scorpio energy. Even though he is this maybe nerd, dork, emo, he's not a pushover, and he's very confident, and he lets you know what he's about. And yeah, I think those were he doesn't miss a beat. I feel like he's watching everybody too. So I'm curious to see what maybe he might uncover as the show goes on.
Let's talk about another Saturnian king, perhaps.
Oh.
Scotty.
To get a fair shot in this world, some people have to cheat.
I think Scotty's a Taurus because
Okay.
I'm a Taurus and I want him to be, because I just think he's so ride or die. I get where you were going with some of the, I'm not going to give it away, but some of the entrepreneurial stuff. But I do think Taurus, being the ruler of the second house, is those building blocks, right? So Capricorn is like already entrepreneured, if you will. Taurus is making money off our Girl Scout cookies to buy some designer shirts, to buy some, to get some more stuff. So I think that's where I saw Taurus in Scotty. He says, to get a fair shot, some people have to cheat. I think that's very Taurus. It is like both moral and like trying to get ahead at the same time. The ring on the coffee table business, I think, is very Taurus, where it's like, I'm pulling all of my skills because like my friend is in this dire situation and I like maybe know how to help, but I'll give 100% of helping to make sure like I do what I can in the situation. At one point he says he likes a big breakfast and to save up money to support his family. So again, really Taurus to me. Also get that I am biased and really mostly wanted to see myself here.
I mean, Scotty's kind of a legend. Money rules everything around Scotty. It's all marketable is a line that he says. And I like that big breakfast too, of like, yeah, I support my family and I love a big breakfast, which made me go back to that kind of Capricorn daddy. I'm running the show. Someone's got to feed these kids and it's going to be me. No, like, I'm not going to depend on anyone else to support me but myself. I could see him sort of Gemini-y because he is so social and does have that kind of salesman quality that I think Geminis have in their gift of gab and being able to sell people and talk to people and, connect the people. I mean, he does have just one sweetheart in his life, and that is Bo. But I mean, I do think he is very friend-oriented, but it's particularly for his Florida boy. I mean, I know it's stereotypical, like Capricorn and money, but like he's being a stereotypical Capricorn here. He just wants to be successful and to be financially supported, which is not far off from Taurus because they want the same things. But I do like the bent on the finer things, so that does seem a little more Taurus-y. So I'll give you that, Shanu.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't disagree with any of the Taurus stuff, but I do think Capricorn and I think Gemini rising, like you said, Stevie, very salesman, quick talking, can kind of talk with anybody and really is like out there doing the kind of networking sort of thing, doing the talking for him and Bo, but then also, being responsible and being the kind of brains of the operation and the gab. But it's like, I don't know, like he says in this real man speech, which also is like so Capricorn, stitch this on a pillow for all the Capricorns. I pee standing up, I hustle hard, and I make money to support my family. If that isn't like the Capricorn commandments, I don't know what is. I also think that if he's a Gemini rising, that would put his Capricorn sun in the 8th house of other people's stuff. And I think that speaks to some of the stuff that you're talking about, Lisa, of like not necessarily not only entrepreneurial, but also kind of utilizing what you have around you and transforming those things into opportunities. And also just this, like, we got to look out for ourselves. It's very kind of Capricorn in the 8th of like, it's my responsibility, but I also feel responsible for like my work being that which is going to take care of other people, of leaving a legacy, of making it so we can take care of more than just ourselves, but we do also have to look out for ourselves.
What about Bo? We can't talk about Scotty without talking about Bo. These boos are tight at the hip. BFF.
Nice flow from Progressive.
Look, man, I don't get your thing for her, but a man's taste is a man's taste.
Come on, man. She's funny and she's hot.
This one was really hard for me because there is so much external happening in Bo's life that we see him reacting more than we get to see him really like being himself, at least in like the past flashbacks and stuff. Because he has either an abusive parent or abusive parents, it's unclear. He is like silenced at home a lot, but still kind of like bucks the system by, you know, doing this stuff with Scotty, like going in and trying to make money, trying to get out of his situation. I guess I am going to go Scorpio just because I think that while he has all this happening under the surface, he doesn't seem to share it with anyone, and it's not in like a shameful way, or maybe it is, I don't know, in his inner psyche, but he doesn't use it as a tool. He doesn't like, when things get rough, he isn't like, hey guys, I'm from an abused home, like, can we not, or whatever, and whatever, however you want to take that. I just think that he like keeps things inside a little more. It's not a good or bad thing, it's just maybe more of a Scorpio thing.
I think you're right on about there's so much hidden about him. There's so much he's keeping inside, which to me, and this is maybe because I think Scotty is a Capricorn, but it made me think Cancer. You know, Cancer is the crab, is the symbol of Cancer, and thinking about keeping things kind of hidden under your shell, keeping yourself protected, kind of playing things close to the chest, both because you are sensitive inside, but also because you got to protect yourself and you got to look out for number one in a way that's maybe not as aggressive or assertive, but is still cardinal and is still, you know, ready to leave home at any time, especially if you are in a literal abusive situation. Needing to protect yourself at home is very kind of, I don't know, that can't thinking of that Cancer shell and kind of having to be like, you know, knowing that you depend on that situation to be there. So you can't just be like, you, mom and dad, but also knowing that you are a little bit on your own. So that does speak to that kind of Cancer protected, hard shell, soft inside area. And also just like, you can always make things better. Why not? I like Cancer. I also like Scorpio though. I think that fits, again, just this like water. I think water for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely water. I mean, Bo sort of looks like he could start crying at any moment. Like there's definitely this sort of just, there's like a lot of emotion behind the eyes, but it's like, what's in there, Bo? I do like the Cancer, especially if we have Scotty as a Capricorn, the opposite sign, sister sign, mom and dad energy. I do feel like Bo does go along for the ride just to sort of be a part of the group project. Kind of reminds me, I'm a Cancer rising, Cancer Mars. I joined the golf team in high school. Hated golf, but heard everyone got to eat cheese fries when they were done and hang out after. So I was like, that sounds like a good time. And that's what Bo reminds me of. Is like, I don't know if, yes, he wants the freedom and maybe something to do, but it is really Scotty's mission. And he is a good wingman, a good person that's along for the ride. And I think he does bring that sort of humanity to Scotty, who can be laser focused on the goal and business, and Bo really sort of being more in touch with his feelings. Cancers do have that shell, and I do think when the water is boiling, they can start to steam. So I am interested to see what might push Bo over the edge as we watch his story unfold more and more, because I don't think we've really gotten to really hear what Bo has to say. And you know, Cancers, if they can't hold it in too long, or that shell will bust. So I want to see what might push him over to his boiling point. But yeah, Bo, he's a big water boy. Like that's just a watery sweetie pie.
That's been our recap of The Wild Season 2. If you missed part 1, be sure to tune in and see what characters we broke down there. And if you still can't get enough Wilds content, be sure to tune in to our recaps of Season 1, where we break down all of the signs of the girls.
If you like what you heard, please check out our podcast, What's Your Sign Podcast, anywhere podcasts are found.
Y'all, let us know in the comments what other Prime originals you would like to see us break down astrologically. Sound off below, make your voice heard, and we'll see you next time in the stars.
Whoa, oh my God. I see the
See you later.
We have to try everything. Drink. I'll be taking this and later.
I don't care about the show. I just want a good blooper reel.
I want to learn science.
You guys are gonna make me look like I'm in the show, right? You're gonna put in the effects. Replace the green. I don't want to look like an asshole here.
Sorry.